Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. So I've done a video on books that I have back here. So I did one on sort of the golf related ones. I picked three off of the shelf that I really like and kind of give an explanation of why I like them. I mean, why they're my favourites. Made the comment that every book, every little bit of information can really build onto your knowledge base and onto your golf game. So I'm not saying I've picked ones and ignore all the others. It's just those were the three that I kind of picked out. But I said I'd also do three books that are non-golf related but can really help your golf. So that's what this video is about. So without further ado, going to get straight in to the deep end. Book number one. Talent Code. Do I like this book? And what I like about this book, it's a guy went around basically loads of different areas of the world creating elite sports people or elite people in anything, to music, business, whatever. But there tend to be patterns, hotbeds he calls them, places that seem to produce more talent than maybe they should. And it's kind of a nature versus nurture sort of debate, and actually finds that it's not just about the nature side, it can be the environment that you're in. And I think it's a really good book because it takes away that, well, it's not my fault, he's just better. I mean, there are things, there's like, I'll never be a sprinter. I don't have the fast twitch fibres. I will never be that, no matter how hard I tried. But that's not the case on a lot of things. So again, yeah, there's some really, really good information on there on about learning on how to apply yourself, how it's not smooth sailing to get better. So I think you get a lot of times in golf, people just want to practice, and then in a practice session, so if you're at 50 balls, you should hit 50 fantastic shots. They should all be in a tight dispersion, and then once you do that, you go out on the course, you do the same, and then you play great golf. And that's not kind of how learning is, and it's not kind of how learning works. So again, this book explains that quite well, doing loads of really good examples. The guy, Daniel, just kind of travelled around, going to all these places and kind of trying to see what things were similar and what things were happening. So yeah, really good book, really worth a read. Second one. I've spoken about this one before. So Mindeset by Dweck. Really, really good book. It's about fixed mindsets and growth mindsets. A very similar kind of topic to this one. Basically, some people like to work hard and they can find it in them to try and push themselves. Some people are more, it is what it is. Again, comes back down to talent, and it's not my fault. But a really, really good read, a really provoking read. I read the book after watching a YouTube video of her. So if you type in Carol Dweck into YouTube, I think a TED Talks comes up, and or there's loads of different videos, but the one I watched was a TED Talks, and it's if you're unsure about this, or you're like, what the hell is he on about? I would watch that video. It's about 10-15 minutes, so it's quite a long video, but it's worth having a watch, because the video is nothing about golf. It's more about primary school kids. But what you'll find is a few things that she's talking about really do apply to golf, and golfers don't like hitting bad shots, basically. So when we're trying to get better, like I say, it's all about hitting perfect shot time and time again, and that's not really how we learn. It's not really how you develop a skill, how you move on to the next level. So yeah, really, really good book. I'd recommend the book, but yeah, there is a YouTube video. I'll put it in the description, actually. I'll put it in the description because it is worth watching. And then if you listen to the stuff and think, well, that's really, really interesting, the book is far better. Obviously, there's a lot more information in the book. So number two. Number three. Chimp Paradox. So I like this book. Really clever. So he's taken a concept, the brain, something that is extremely complicated, too complicated for me to try and even talk about in a sentence, let alone try and explain in detail, let alone even understand myself. But what he's done, and it is clever what he's done, is he's basically created the human and the chimp. So he's broken down very complex things in the mind, not not explain them correctly from a scientific standpoint, but he'd explain them correctly from a practical standpoint. So he's taken a very complex thing and made it very understandable, very much about how we behave, how we react to things. So if you're somebody goes out on the golf course and gets quite angry, but then doesn't get angry usually, and you think, well, it's quite strange that I seem to throw clubs and swear and get really down on myself when I'm out on the course, but that's not what I do in everyday life. This book gives you quite a good understanding of why you feel that way, and then it gives you a few tips on how you can control it. So yeah, real good book. If you're looking, especially maybe a bit younger and thinking of really going into golf, trying to play events, maybe even play professional events, I would really be recommending it. But even for your average Joe, doing really good information. All three are really good for your life, let alone golf. But I think there's things in there that you'll read and you'll go, oh yeah, I do that. That was the chimp. Oh bugger. So yeah, three really good books, doing very similar topics, doing it very much about working hard, and actually I don't want to say you get what you deserve, because we know that's not what happens in life all the time. But I think the books really can give you a nice emphasis, especially if you've made the commitment to get better, especially like this time of year, beginning of the season, you might have made a real strong commitment, and then it's not that you don't put the effort, it's just you maybe don't apply yourself quite as well, and then you end up actually making yourself a bit down and get a bit reluctant to play after a while. I've seen it quite a few times. You get somebody that's keen as mustard at the beginning of the season, and then the way that they apply them, they put so much effort in, but as they don't do it in quite the right way, or don't quite understand how to deal with the situations that are coming up, because like whenever you're, so if you're down here and you want to be here, people think, well, I go up in a straight line, whereas it doesn't work like that. When you're up, down, some days it will look better than others, some days it will look like the world is ending, but that's just the way that we developed. We all know from life experiences that that's kind of how it works, but it's certainly how it works in golf as well. So yeah, trying to just give you a bit of understanding, and that's what these books can do. They give you understanding of maybe why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. So it's not I've lost my mind and I've gone crazy or anything like this, but it gives you a good understanding to understand why other people behave the way they do as well. So from my standpoint, it can be quite good from a coaching standpoint, because if I give good information and I'm not getting anything back, or people are being a bit just giving me the cold shoulder, sometimes it can be the way that I'm behaving, and there's ways that I can then change my approach to improve the interaction. So yeah, these books, very good for golf, very good for life. I recommend them. Anybody read any of these? Let me know. Any other books? I know there's quite a few on this topic. Any other books that other people have read? Because actually, this is something that I'm quite interested in at the minute. So if you have a book that is on those lines, or slightly different, something outside of the box slightly, but you think it would really improve golf and life, just golf, just life, comment down below. Hope to catch you soon.